Subscribe now and hit the like button if you believe in unexpected connections. Comment below. What's the most surprising call you've ever received? The billionaire's despair and the cleaner's secret. No way! That's 3 nannies this week! Daniel Hayes paced his opulent London office, phone pressed to his ear. On the other end, his assistant stammered that the latest nanny had quit that very morning. Mr. Hayes, she said she just couldn't take the baby's crying anymore. She's never seen anything like it. Well, find another one. I don't care what it costs. Daniel slammed the phone down, running a hand through his hair. His daughter, Lily, was barely 8 months old, and since her mother's death 3 months prior, no nanny had lasted more than a few days. The baby cried incessantly, refused bottles, and wouldn't sleep at night. Meanwhile, downstairs, Sarah Miller was cleaning the living room windows. She'd arrived early that morning for the emergency cleaning job she'd been assigned. She needed the extra money to send to her grandmother in Jamaica. She'd been in London for 6 months and still felt like a stranger in Canary Wharf. The piercing cry of a baby made her pause. She looked towards the ceiling, frowning. That cry wasn't normal. It wasn't the cry of hunger or sleep she knew well from looking after her younger cousins. It was a cry of desperation. Sarah put down her cloth and climbed the stairs. The crying grew louder. She reached the first floor and saw a door ajar. She cautiously peeked in. A baby was in her cot, her face red from crying so much. Her tiny fists flailed in the air, and tears streamed down her cheeks. Sarah looked around. No one else was there. "Hello?" she called out. "Is anyone here?" No one replied. The baby's crying intensified. Sarah knew she shouldn't go in. It wasn't her job. But something in that cry tore at her heart. She approached the cot slowly. "Shh, my darling. What's wrong?" The baby's nappy was soiled, and her clothes were damp with sweat. Sarah found nappies and clean clothes in the nearby dresser. With gentle movements, she changed the little one and picked her up. There. Everything's going to be all right," she whispered, rocking her. The baby gradually stopped crying. Her swollen eyes slowly closed, and her breathing calmed. Sarah continued rocking her, humming a song her grandmother used to sing to her as a child. "What on earth are you doing?" Sarah startled. In the doorway stood a tall man in a dark suit, his expression furious. He was handsome, but his eyes held a coldness that intimidated her. The baby was crying, and "Who gave you permission to touch my daughter?" Daniel strode towards her. Sarah backed away, still holding the baby. "No one, sir. But she was—" "Give me Lily. Now." Sarah carefully handed over the baby. As soon as Daniel took her, Lily started crying again. Daniel tried to calm her, but the cries grew louder. "I don't understand. She calmed down with you," Daniel murmured, looking at Sarah strangely. Her nappy was dirty, and her clothes were wet. She must be hungry, too. Daniel looked at his daughter. It was true. He hadn't noticed the state she was in. "Have you looked after babies before?" "Yes, sir. My cousin's in Jamaica." Daniel extended his arms towards Sarah. "Take her again." Sarah hesitated but took Lily. Immediately the baby quieted. Her small hands clung to Sarah's blouse, and her breathing became steady. "What's your name?" Daniel asked, watching the scene with disbelief. "Sarah Miller. I work for the cleaning company." "Where are you from?" "Jamaica. I arrived 6 months ago." Daniel was silent, watching his daughter completely relax in the arms of this unknown woman. 3 professional nannies had failed, but this cleaner had achieved the impossible. "Prepare her bottle," he suddenly told her. "It's in the kitchen, downstairs." Sarah went downstairs with Lily in her arms. In the kitchen, she prepared the bottle as she had learned with her cousins. Lily drank the milk without a fuss, her little eyes fixed on Sarah's face. Daniel watched them from the doorway. For the first time in months, his house was silent. No desperate cries, no tension in the air. "What time do you finish your work here?" he asked. In an hour, sir. When you're done, come to my office. I have a proposal for you. Sarah nodded, not understanding what this man could want from her. She continued feeding Lily, feeling a strange connection with this baby she had just met. What do you think Daniel's proposal will be? Is he just desperate, or is there something more? Share your predictions in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more unexpected twists. A new arrangement. Sarah knocked on the office door nervously. She had finished cleaning, and now she stood in front of Daniel Hayes' study, unsure what to expect. Maybe he was going to fire her for interfering. Come in. Daniel was sitting behind an enormous desk, reviewing papers. He looked up when she entered. Have a seat, please. Sarah sat in the chair in front of the desk, her hands in her lap. The office was elegant, with books and diplomas on the walls. She felt out of place. You have experience looking after children? Daniel asked directly. Yes, sir. I looked after my young cousins in Jamaica. I also worked with a family in Kingston before coming to London. Why did you come to London? Sarah hesitated for a moment. My grandmother is sick and needs expensive medication. I can earn more money here to help her. Daniel nodded. He opened a folder and pulled out some documents. Your employer gave me your references. She says you're responsible and reliable. I try to be, sir. What happened today with my daughter? Daniel paused, as if struggling to find the words. Lily hasn't stopped crying in weeks. No nanny has been able to calm her like you did. Sarah didn't know how to reply. Daniel continued speaking. I want to offer you a job, to be Lily's full-time nanny. Me? But sir, I'm not a professional nanny. I just clean houses. I don't care if you're professional or not. I care that my daughter is well. Daniel stood up and walked to the window. I offer you to live here in the staff quarters. You'll have every weekend off and a salary of £20,000 a month. Sarah's eyes widened in surprise. It was far more money than she earned cleaning houses. Sir, I don't know if I can. Why not? Looking after a baby is very different from cleaning. And if something goes wrong... Daniel turned to her. Look, Miss Miller, I've hired nannies with university degrees, with years of experience, with the best references. None lasted more than 3 days. You managed to make my daughter stop crying in 5 minutes. Sarah thought about her grandmother, about the medication she needed, about the money she could send. When would I start? Tomorrow. All right, I accept. The next day, Sarah arrived with a small suitcase. Daniel showed her to her room, which was simple but comfortable. Then he took her to Lily's room. Her routine is chaotic, Daniel explained. She eats at different times, doesn't sleep well at night. The last nanny said it was impossible. Sarah approached the cot. Lily was awake, waving her little hands. Hello, little one. Do you remember me? The baby made a sound that resembled a happy gurgle. Sarah picked her up, and Lily immediately calmed down. I'm going to create a routine for her, Sarah said. Babies need fixed schedules to feel secure. In the following days, Sarah established a strict routine. Lily had breakfast at 8, playtime at 10, a nap at 2, and dinner at 6. At night, Sarah sang soft songs until she fell asleep. The house completely changed. No more constant crying. Instead, there were giggles and baby babble. Sarah talked to Lily all the time, read her stories, and played with her on the living room floor. Daniel watched from afar. He would come home from work and find Sarah and Lily playing on the carpet, or Sarah preparing the baby's food while singing to her. It was an image he hadn't seen since Emma died. One afternoon, he came home early from work. He heard laughter from the kitchen and peeked in. Sarah had Lily in her arms and was making funny faces. The baby was laughing heartily, a sound Daniel hadn't heard in months. Looks like you're having fun, he said from the doorway. Sarah startled. Mr. Hayes, I didn't know you were here. I arrived early. How was Lily today? Very well. She ate all her baby food and slept for 2 hours. Daniel approached and reached out for his daughter. Lily looked at him with curiosity, but didn't cry. When he picked her up, "She seems calmer," Daniel murmured. "Babies sense when adults are nervous," Sarah said. "If you're calm, she will be too." Daniel looked at Sarah with a strange expression. It was the first time anyone had spoken to him like that since his wife's death. Without judgment. Just honesty. "Thank you," he simply said. Sarah nodded and continued preparing Lily's dinner. But she felt something different in the air, a silent connection she didn't dare to name. Do you think Daniel is starting to see Sarah as more than just an employee? What kind of challenges do you foresee in their unique living arrangement? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more captivating developments. A storm. A shared vulnerability. It was Friday night when the power went out across the entire area. Sarah was bathing Lily when everything went dark. "Oh my God!" she exclaimed, holding the baby firmly. She heard quick footsteps on the stairs. "Sarah, are you all right?" It was Daniel's voice, with a tone of concern he rarely showed. "Yes, we're fine, but Lily's in the bath." Daniel appeared in the bathroom doorway with his mobile phone flashlight. "Let me help you." Between the two of them, they got Lily out of the water and wrapped her in a towel. The baby didn't seem scared, rather curious about the shadows dancing on the walls. "It must be a general power cut," Daniel said, checking his phone. "They say it could last several hours." They went down to the living room. Daniel lit some candles he found in the kitchen. The golden light filled the space, creating an intimate atmosphere neither of them expected. Sarah put Lily on her blanket on the carpet. The baby played with her feet, making happy cooing sounds. "She seems content," Daniel commented, sitting on the floor near them. "Babies aren't bothered by the dark as much as we are." They fell silent, watching Lily. The candles flickered gently, and the only sound was the baby's gurgles. "Do you miss Jamaica?" Daniel suddenly asked. Sarah looked at him, surprised. It was the first time he'd asked her a personal question. "Every day, especially my grandmother. How is she?" "She's not well. She has diabetes and heart problems. Doctors say she needs surgery, but it's very expensive." Daniel nodded, looking at the candle flames. "My wife was also sick for a long time before she died." Sarah remained silent. Daniel never talked about his dead wife. "What was she like?" Sarah asked carefully. Daniel sighed deeply. "Emma was full of life. She always had a smile. She always saw the good side of things. She was the complete opposite of me. Is that why you fell in love with her? Perhaps. Or perhaps she fell in love with me, despite how I am." Emily started to yawn. Sarah picked her up and began to rock her gently. "You're not as bad as you think," Sarah said. "You're just hurting." Daniel looked at her fixedly. In the candlelight, Sarah's eyes shone with a warmth he had forgotten existed. "How can you say that? You barely know me." "I know men who hurt because they want to hurt, and I know those who hurt because they're scared. You're the second kind." Sarah's words touched him in a place he had kept closed since Emma's death. He moved a little closer to her. "What am I afraid of? Of feeling something again. That if you let someone else in, you might lose them again." Daniel was speechless. This woman who came from another country, who cleaned houses to survive, had seen inside him better than anyone in months. "Lily's asleep," Sarah whispered. "Careful." She carried the baby to her cot. When she returned, Daniel was still sitting on the floor, looking at the candles. "Are you afraid of anything?" he asked. Sarah sat down again, this time closer. "Of many things. Of not being able to help my grandmother. Of not finding my place in this country. Of getting too attached to people I can't have." The last sentence hung in the air between them. Daniel looked at her and understood perfectly what she meant. "Sarah, don't say anything," she interrupted. "We both know this can't happen." But Daniel had already moved closer. His hand touched Sarah's cheek, gently. "And what if I don't care what can or can't happen?" Sarah closed her eyes at the contact. She had fought against these feelings for weeks. His wife died only 3 months ago. "I work for you. We're from different worlds. Right now, none of that matters to me." Daniel leaned towards her. Sarah didn't pull away. Their lips met in a kiss that was soft at first, full of doubts and questions. But then it grew more intense, as if both of them had been waiting for that moment without knowing it. When they separated, their foreheads were touching. Both were breathing fast. "This is wrong," Sarah whispered. "I know. It could be very complicated. I know." But neither of them moved. They stayed like that, holding that intimate moment in the candlelight, knowing that when the electricity returned, everything would change. And they were right. What do you think will happen when the lights come back on? Will Daniel and Sarah acknowledge what happened, or will they pretend it never occurred? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for the inevitable next chapter. The Reckoning and The Drive to Yorkshire. The next day, when the lights returned, Daniel was back to his usual cold and distant self. He treated Sarah like any other employee, as if the kiss had never happened. But both knew that something had changed forever between them. 3 weeks had passed since the night of the power cut. Daniel acted as if nothing had happened, but Sarah noticed how he looked at her when he thought she wasn't watching. His eyes said one thing, but his behavior said another entirely. That Tuesday, Daniel had left early for a business meeting. Sarah took the opportunity to deep clean the master bedroom, something she had been putting off. Lily was sleeping in her cot, so she had time. In the wardrobe, she found a cardboard box that was covered in dust. She carefully pulled it out and placed it on the bed. Inside were photos, letters, and personal items that had clearly belonged to Emma. Sarah hesitated whether she should go through the box. It wasn't her place, but as she cleaned around, Lily woke up and started to cry. She picked her up and brought her into the room so she wouldn't be alone. Lily saw the open box and stretched out her little hands towards the shiny objects. Before Sarah could stop her, the baby grabbed a black mobile phone from the bottom of the box. "No, my love, that's not a toy." Sarah tried to take the phone away, but Lily started pressing random buttons. Suddenly, the screen lit up. "Oh no, I hope it's not damaged." Sarah checked the phone to see if it was all right. The battery was low, but it worked. On the screen, several videos appeared. The most recent one was dated 2 months before Emma's death. Unintentionally, Lily touched the video, and it began to play. On the screen appeared a beautiful woman with brown hair and green eyes. She was sitting in the same room where Sarah now found herself. "If anyone is watching this, I'm probably not here anymore," the woman said in the video. Sarah froze. It was Emma, Daniel's deceased wife. "Daniel, if it's you who finds this video, forgive me for not telling you the truth sooner." Sarah knew she should turn off the phone, that she had no right to see this, but the next words chilled her to the bone. "Lily is not our biological daughter. I adopted her without telling you anything." The video continued. Emma explained how she had found Lily in an orphanage, how she had immediately fallen in love with her, how she had falsified the papers to make it seem like the baby was theirs. "I was afraid to tell you, Daniel. Afraid you wouldn't love her if you knew she wasn't yours. Afraid you would leave me. I know it was wrong, but I don't regret it. Lily is our daughter in every way that matters." The video ended. Sarah sat in silence, holding Lily, who played, oblivious to what she had just revealed. What should she do? Pretend she had never seen the video? Tell Daniel the truth? That afternoon, when Daniel returned from work, Sarah couldn't act normally. She was nervous, distracted. During dinner, she spilled Lily's juice twice. "Are you all right?" Daniel asked. "You look strange." "I'm fine, sir." But she wasn't fine. Throughout the night, Sarah agonized over the matter. The next day, she made a decision. She waited until Daniel returned from work and was relaxed. Lily was already asleep. "Mr. Hayes, I need to talk to you." Daniel looked up from his newspaper. "What's wrong?" Sarah pulled the mobile phone from her pocket. "Yesterday, while cleaning your room, I found this." Lily was playing with it and accidentally activated a video. Daniel's expression immediately changed. "That's Emma's phone." "What video?" "I think you should see it yourself." Sarah handed him the phone. Daniel took it with trembling hands and played the video. Sarah stood there, watching Daniel's face change as he listened to his dead wife's words. When it ended, Daniel stared at the screen in silence for several minutes. "This is a lie," he finally said in a hoarse voice. "This is a lie," he shouted, standing abruptly. "Lily is my daughter." "Sir, the video seems real." "You don't know anything. Nothing." Daniel paced like a caged animal. "Why are you showing me this? What do you want from me?" "I don't want anything. I just thought you had a right to know the truth." "The truth? The truth is you're trying to manipulate me." Daniel's words were like slaps. Sarah felt tears beginning to well up. "How can you say that? Maybe you edited the video. Maybe you made it all up to I don't know what." "Mr. Hayes, I would never do something like that." "Of course you would. You've been acting strangely ever since that night. You thought you could use this to manipulate me." Sarah could no longer hold back her tears. "I just wanted you to know the truth. I thought you had a right. The only right you have is to do your job and keep your mouth shut." Daniel approached her furiously. "I want you to leave. Right now. I never want to see you again." "What?" "You heard me. Pack your things and get out of my house." Sarah stood there, trembling. Daniel stomped upstairs. Half an hour later, Sarah came down with her suitcase. Daniel didn't come out to say goodbye. Before leaving, she peeked into Lily's room and gently kissed her forehead. "Take care, my darling. I'm going to miss you very much." And she left, heartbroken, unsure if she had done the right thing. What a devastating turn. Do you think Daniel will ever find out the truth about Emma's video? Will Emily get her treatment? Share your anxious thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for the full truth to unfold. A glimmer of hope in a new town. Sarah arrived in Birmingham with only $30 in her pocket and her heart in pieces. She had taken the first bus out of London, regardless of the destination. She just wanted to be away from Daniel, away from the pain, away from everything. At the bus station, she saw an advertisement in the newspaper. Housekeeper wanted. Small house, quiet family. She dialed the number from a public phone. "Hello? I'm calling about the newspaper ad. Is the job still available?" "Yes. Can you come today?" The Harrison family's house was the complete opposite of Daniel's mansion. It was small, simple, but full of warmth. Mrs. Eleanor Harrison, the lady of the house, was an elderly woman with kind eyes. "I have 2 grown children, and my husband," Mrs. Harrison explained. "It's not much work, just cleaning and cooking. Do you have references?" Sarah gave her the number of her former boss at the cleaning company. Luckily, she had remained on good terms with her. "You can start tomorrow. I'll give you £5,000 a month and food included. Does that sound good?" It was much less money than she earned with Daniel, but Sarah nodded. She needed to work, and above all, she needed to be in a place where no one would shout at her, where no one would accuse her of lying. The first few days were difficult. At night, Sarah cried, thinking of Lily. Was she all right? Had Daniel found another nanny? Did the baby miss her? Mrs. Harrison noticed her sadness. "What's wrong, dear? You look very sad." "I had to leave a job where I looked after a baby. I miss her very much." "Was she your daughter?" "No. but I loved her as if she were." Mrs. Harrison placed a hand on her shoulder. "Love doesn't need papers, dear. If you loved her, she loved you too." Meanwhile, in London, Daniel was living his own hell. After Sarah left, he had hired an emergency nanny agency. In 1 week, 4 different nannies had come and gone. Lily wouldn't stop crying. She refused food, wouldn't sleep, and seemed to be looking for something she couldn't find. Daniel himself had tried to calm her, but it was impossible. "Mr. Hayes," the agency director told him over the phone, "my most experienced nannies say they've never seen a case like this. The baby seems traumatized." "Traumatized by what?" "We don't know. Did anything traumatic happen in the house, and any significant changes?" Daniel knew exactly what had happened. Lily missed Sarah, but his pride wouldn't let him admit it. One night, Lily cried for 4 hours straight. Daniel held her, gave her a bottle, changed her nappy, but nothing worked. He was desperate. "What do you want?" he yelled at the baby. "Tell me what you want." Emily only cried harder. Daniel sat on the floor of the room, holding his daughter, and for the first time in months, he also began to cry. "You miss her, don't you?" he whispered. "You miss Sarah." That same night, Daniel took Emma's mobile phone and re-watched the video. This time, he watched it completely, without the rage he had felt before. He observed every detail, listened to every word. The next day, he took the phone to a video expert. "I want you to analyze this video. I need to know if it's real or if it was edited. It'll cost you £1,000 for the full analysis." "I don't care about the price." 2 days later, the technician called him. "Mr. Hayes, I have the results. The video is completely authentic. There are no signs of editing, manipulation, or digital alteration." Daniel hung up the phone and sat in his office for hours. Emma had lied for years. Lily was not their biological daughter. But more importantly, he had treated the only person who had been honest with him terribly. Sarah hadn't lied. She hadn't tried to manipulate him. She had only shown him the truth, no matter how painful it was. In Birmingham, Sarah had found some peace. The Harrison family treated her well. The work was quiet, and little by little, she had begun to heal. But at night, when she was alone in her small room, she still thought of Lily. One afternoon, while cleaning the living room, her phone rang. It was a London number she didn't recognize. "Sarah Miller?" "Yes, who is this?" "I'm Dr. Thompson, pediatrician. I'm treating one of your patients. Well, she was your patient, Lily Hayes." Sarah's heart raced. "What's wrong with Lily? Is she okay?" "The baby is physically well, but she has symptoms of severe infant depression. Her father gave me your number. He said you were her nanny." "Yes, sis, but I don't work there anymore. Miss Miller, the baby isn't eating well, isn't sleeping, cries constantly. It's as if she's in mourning. Did anything traumatic happen before you left?" Sarah closed her eyes. It pained her to know that Lily was suffering. "Nothing traumatic happened. I just left suddenly." Babies form very strong bonds. If you were her primary caregiver, it's possible she misses you very much. After hanging up, Sarah was left thinking. Lily needed her, but Daniel had been clear. He didn't want to see her again. However, that night she couldn't sleep, thinking of the baby she had learned to love as her own daughter. What an emotional twist! Do you think Sarah will go back to Lily, even after Daniel's harsh words? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for the ultimate emotional turning point. A difficult reunion. Daniel drove for 4 hours from London to Birmingham. He had gotten Sarah's address through her former boss at the cleaning company. The journey gave him time to think about what he was going to say, but when he arrived in front of the Harrison family's house, he realized there weren't enough words. He knocked on the door nervously. An elderly lady opened it. Yes? Good afternoon. I'm looking for Sarah Miller. I'm Daniel Hayes. Mrs. Harrison looked him up and down. The expensive suit, the elegant watch, the shiny shoes. This was the man who had made Sarah cry for weeks. What do you want with her? I need to talk to her. It's important. She doesn't want to talk to you. Please, madam. It's about Lily, the baby she looked after. Mrs. Harrison hesitated for a moment. Wait here. She closed the door and went to find Sarah, who was in the garden hanging laundry. My dear, there's a man at the door. He says his name is Daniel Hayes. Sarah dropped the shirt she was holding. Daniel was here? He says he wants to talk about the baby. Sarah froze. Part of her wanted to run to the door, but another part reminded her of the cruel words he had said to her. Tell him to leave. Are you sure? He looks very worried. Sarah closed her eyes. She thought of Lily, of the doctor's call. All right, but stay close, please. Sarah went to the door. Daniel was standing on the pavement with his hands in his pockets. He looked tired, as if he hadn't slept in days. Hello, Sarah. What do you want, Mr. Hayes? The Mr. Hayes hurt him more than he expected. Before, she used to call him Daniel when they were alone. I need to talk to you. With you? We already talked. Very clearly, in fact. I have nothing more to hear. The words came out with more pain than Sarah wanted to show. Daniel realized. You were right about the video. I had it verified by an expert. It's real. Sarah crossed her arms. And I was wrong. I was wrong about you. I was wrong yelling at you. I was wrong kicking you out of the house. Did you come all this way just to tell me that? Daniel sighed deeply. Lily is not well. Very unwell. She's not eating. She's not sleeping. She cries constantly. The doctor says she has depression. Sarah's eyes filled with tears, but she tried to remain firm. Get another nanny. She doesn't want anyone else. She misses you. And I miss you, too. The words hung in the air. Sarah wiped her tears with the back of her hand. She misses me, or she misses the employee who did her job well. I miss you, Sarah. The woman I kissed that night. The woman who made me feel alive again. But the next day, you pretended nothing happened. Daniel ran a hand through his hair. I was scared. Scared of betraying Emma's memory. Scared of feeling something for someone else. Scared of being hurt again. And now? Now I know I'm already hurting myself. And I'm hurting Lily. And I hurt you for no reason. Sarah remained silent for a long moment. What exactly do you want, Mr. Hayes? I want you to come back. Emily needs you. And you? Daniel looked her directly in the eyes. I need you too. Sarah shook her head. It's not that easy. You can't just come here, say some nice words, and expect everything to go back to how it was. I know. That's why I didn't come to ask you to come back as an employee. Then what? Daniel took a deep breath. I came to ask you to come back as part of the family, as the woman who might become my wife, if you give me the chance. Sarah looked at him in surprise. Are you mad? Do you think after how you treated me I can trust you? No. But I hope you'll give me the chance to earn it back. You called me a liar. You yelled at me. You kicked me out of your house like I was trash. And I'm going to spend the rest of my life regretting that. Sarah remained thoughtful. Part of her wanted to say yes immediately, but the hurt part needed more. If I come back, she finally said, things are going to be different. Different how? No more secrets. No more treating me like an employee one day and a woman the next. No more yelling at me when you're angry. And no more pretending I don't exist when it suits you. Daniel nodded. Agreed. And I want us to go slowly. Very slowly. First, I need to see that you've really changed, not just hear it. Sounds fair to me. Sarah looked at him for a long moment. All right, I'll come back. But for Emily, not for you. Daniel smiled for the first time in weeks. All right, for now, that's enough. Sarah went in to pack her things, wondering if she was making the biggest mistake of her life, or giving herself the chance to be happy she had always dreamed of. Do you think Sarah is making the right choice to go back? Can Daniel truly change? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for the heartwarming finale. Healing wounds. Building trust. The drive back to London was silent. Daniel drove, focused on the road, while Sarah looked out the window, nervous about what she would find. During the trip, Daniel told her about Lily's condition. The last nanny quit yesterday. She said she'd never seen a baby so sad. She hasn't eaten well in weeks. Has she lost weight? A little. The doctor says if she doesn't improve soon, they'll have to hospitalize her. Sarah felt a pang in her chest. The idea that Lily was suffering so much tore at her. When they arrived at the house, Daniel carried Sarah's suitcase. Your room is still the same. I didn't touch anything. They went upstairs. Sarah could hear Lily's weak cries from her room. It was a different cry from what she remembered, more muffled, as if the baby no longer had the strength to ask for help. Hello, my love. Did you miss me? Sarah approached slowly and picked up Lily. The baby clung to her immediately, as if afraid she would disappear again. Her tiny hands tangled in Sarah's hair. Oh, my darling, you're so thin. Lily wasn't crying, but she wasn't smiling either. She just clung to Sarah, breathing in her familiar scent. Are you hungry, precious? Sarah went down to the kitchen with Lily in her arms. She prepared her favorite baby food, the one she had always liked. Daniel watched them from the doorway. Come, my love, let's eat. At first, Lily refused the food as she had been doing. But when Sarah began to sing the song she always sang to her during meals, the baby slowly opened her mouth. That's good. Little by little. Lily ate half her baby food, more than she had eaten in days. Then she fell asleep in Sarah's arms. It's incredible, Daniel murmured. With you, she's a different baby. Children need to feel secure. When they feel abandoned, they stop trusting. The words had a double meaning, and Daniel understood perfectly. The following days were about slow reconstruction. Sarah re-established Lily's routine, but this time she was more careful. The baby had developed separation anxiety and didn't want Sarah to leave her side for a moment. It's normal, Sarah explained to Daniel. She's afraid I'll leave again. It will take time for her to trust. Daniel had also changed. He was no longer the cold, distant man he once was. He would come home from work and ask about Lily, play with her on the floor, even try to feed her. It's so hard for me, he admitted one afternoon, after Lily refused the bottle he offered her. I don't know how to talk to her. Talk to her like you would talk to anyone you love. Babies understand more than we think. One night, Sarah heard noises in Lily's room. She got up and found Daniel sitting on the floor next to the cot, talking to the baby in a low voice. I know I'm not your biological father, but I want to be. I want to look after you, protect you, watch you grow up. I don't know if you'll ever stop being afraid of me, but I'm going to try. Lily looked at him with her big eyes, not crying. Daniel extended a finger towards her, and to his surprise, Lily grabbed it with her tiny hand. See? Sarah whispered from the doorway. She loves you too. Daniel startled. He hadn't known she was there. Relationships are built with time and patience. You're doing things right. That night, for the first time since Sarah had returned, they had dinner together after Lily fell asleep. Daniel had cooked, though the result was disastrous. I think I burned the eggs, he said, scratching his head. Sarah laughed, the first genuine laugh he'd heard since her return. They're a little golden. They're black. Well, yes, they're black. They laughed together, and for a moment things felt normal. But when their gazes met, the tension returned. Daniel, No, she interrupted. Not yet. I need time. Daniel nodded, though he clearly wanted to say more. How much time? I don't know, until I feel I can trust you completely. What can I do to earn that trust? Sarah thought for a moment. Keep being the man I see with Emily, the one who talks to her with affection, the one who is patient, the one who tries to understand. I like that man. The other one, the one who yells and accuses, that one scares me. That man no longer exists. Prove it to me, not with words, with actions. Daniel extended his hand across the table. Sarah looked at it for a moment and then placed hers on top, briefly. We'll go step by step, she said. Step by step. It was a new beginning, fragile, full of care, but real. The three of them were learning to be a family, each at their own pace, each healing their own wounds. Do you think Daniel can truly earn Sarah's trust back? What actions do you think he needs to take? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for the next emotional milestone. A family takes shape. 3 months had passed since Sarah's return. The house had regained its harmony. Lily no longer cried constantly. She had gained weight, and her laughter filled the spaces that had once been silent. But more importantly, she had started to warm up to Daniel. One morning, as Sarah prepared breakfast, Lily crawled towards Daniel and clung to his trousers. It was the first time she had sought his attention of her own accord. "Daddy, Daddy!" Lily babbled. Daniel froze. Lily had said her first word, and it had been Daddy. His eyes filled with tears as he picked up the baby. "Did you hear that?" he asked Sarah. "I heard it. There's no longer any doubt about who her dad is." That afternoon, Daniel received a call in his office that would change everything. "Mr. Hayes, it's about the merger proposal with the Japanese company," his assistant said. "They need an answer today." Daniel had been postponing that decision for weeks. The merger would mean a lot of money, expanding the business internationally, but it would also mean moving to Tokyo for at least 2 years. "Tell them I need until tomorrow." That night, during dinner, Daniel looked distracted. "What's wrong?" Sarah asked. "You're very quiet." "I was offered a very big deal, but I'd have to move to Japan." Sarah stopped eating. "For how long?" 2 years, maybe more. And what are you going to do?" Daniel looked at Lily, who was playing with her food, oblivious to the conversation that could change her life. "I don't know. It's a lot of money. It would secure Lily's future. Lily's future is here, with the people who love her. Could you come with me?" Sarah looked at him, surprised. "How am I going to go to Japan? I don't even speak Japanese. I don't know anyone there." "You could learn the language. I'd help you with everything. Are you asking me to leave everything to follow you?" Daniel realized how it sounded. "It's not like that. It's just, this deal could change everything." "Change what? Aren't we happy here?" "Yes, but money and business are more important." Sarah got up from the table and started clearing the plates. "I didn't say that. You didn't need to." That night they went to bed without speaking. Daniel stayed awake, thinking about the proposal. It was the opportunity of his professional life, but it would mean separating himself from everything he had built with Sarah and Lily. The next day, Daniel left for the office early without breakfast. Sarah stayed home, playing with Lily in the garden. "What do you think, my love?" she asked the baby. "Is your dad going to leave us for his business?" Lily only laughed and continued playing with her blocks. In the office, Daniel had the proposal on his desk. His partners had been pressuring him all morning. "It's the perfect opportunity, Daniel," said Richard, his main partner. "With this merger, we become an international company. And what if I don't accept? The offer won't be available forever. The Japanese have other options." Daniel thought of Sarah angrily washing dishes, of Lily saying, "Daddy," for the first time, of the quiet evenings the three of them had dinner together. "Give me 1 more hour." He left the office and drove home. He found Sarah giving Lily lunch. Both looked up when he entered. "Have you decided?" Sarah asked without looking at him. "Yes." Daniel sat opposite them. "I'm going to reject the proposal." Sarah looked at him, surprised. "Seriously? Really? I realized something this morning. I've spent my whole life chasing the next deal, the next success, more money, but I've never been as happy as I've been these last few months. You won't regret it? Maybe, but I know I'd regret it more if I lost you both." Sarah smiled for the first time in 2 days. "Are you sure? It's a lot of money. Money can be earned in other ways, but a family like this, that's not found twice in a lifetime." Daniel moved closer to her and took her hands. "Sarah, these past few months you've taught me what truly matters. I don't want to be the man I was before, who only thought about work. I want to be the man who deserves to be with you." Sarah's eyes filled with tears. "What are you telling me?" Daniel knelt in front of her, pulling a small box from his pocket. "I'm telling you that I love you, that I love the life we've built together, that I want Lily to have a mom who adores her, and that I want to have a wife who makes me a better person every day." He opened the box. Inside was a simple but beautiful ring. "Marry me, Sarah, not as an employee, not as a nanny, but as my equal, as my partner, as the woman who chose to stay when I didn't deserve it." Sarah was openly crying. "Yes," she whispered. "Yes, I will marry you." Lily applauded from her high chair, as if she understood something important had just happened. Daniel stood up and kissed Sarah, a kiss full of promises and future. When they separated, the three hugged. "When?" Sarah asked. "Whenever you want. But I'd like it to be in Jamaica with your grandmother present. Would you really go all the way to Jamaica to get married? I'd go to the ends of the earth to marry you." What an incredible proposal. How do you feel about Daniel choosing family over a billion-pound deal? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for the beautiful conclusion. A love story for the ages. 2 years later. "Emily, no! The eggs don't go on the floor!" Sarah laughed as she watched her 3-year-old daughter try to help with breakfast. The little one had insisted she wanted to cook like Mum, but her idea of cooking involved throwing ingredients all over the kitchen. "I help, Mummy," Emily said in her sweet little voice, climbing onto a chair to reach the hob. "Yes, my love, you're helping a lot." Daniel came downstairs in his pajamas, hair disheveled and yawning. He no longer wore elegant suits on Saturday mornings. Now he preferred to stay home with his family. What are the most beautiful chefs in the world cooking? "Daddy!" Emily shrieked, running towards him with hands full of flour. "We're making pancakes!" Daniel picked her up, not caring that she covered him in flour. "Pancakes, and I can help?" "Yes." Sarah smiled, watching the scene. Daniel had changed so much that sometimes he seemed like a completely different person. He was no longer the cold, distant man she had known. Now he was a dad who played on the floor, who sang silly songs, who stayed up when Emily had nightmares. "Be careful," Sarah warned him. "Last time you tried to cook, you almost set the house on fire." "That was once, and the smoke wasn't that bad. It was bad enough that the fire brigade came." "Details," Daniel said, winking at her. He moved closer to her and kissed her cheek, still holding Emily. "Good morning, Mrs. Hayes." "Good morning, Mr. Hayes." They still liked calling each other that sometimes, reminding them that they were no longer boss and employee, but husband and wife. The wedding had been exactly as Sarah had dreamed. Simple, in her grandmother's garden in Kingston, Jamaica. Mrs. Davies had traveled from Birmingham to be there. Emily had walked down the aisle with the rings, tripping twice, but arriving with a huge smile. "What do you want to do today?" Daniel asked. "Park!" Emily shrieked immediately. "Not the park again," Sarah complained. "We went twice yesterday." "But Mummy, I like the swing." "You like everything at the park." Daniel put Emily down and went to help with the pancakes. He tried to flip one, but it broke in half. I think I need more practice. I think you need a lot of cooking lessons. Will you teach me? I've been teaching you for 2 years. You're a lost cause. They laughed together. Emily took advantage of them, not looking to dip her little finger in the batter and taste it. Emily, Sarah admonished her. What have I told you about putting your hands in the food? Not to do it, Emily replied, her mouth full, completely unrepentant. This child is just like you, Sarah told Daniel. Never listens. I never listen? Who washed the dishes last night without being asked? After I told you 3 times to wash them. But I washed them! Sarah threw some flour at him. Daniel threw it back. In seconds, all 3 were covered in flour, laughing wildly. Flour war! Emily shrieked, throwing handfuls in the air. No, 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 Sarah said. But it was too late. The kitchen looked like a flour bomb had exploded. When they finished laughing, they sat on the kitchen floor, white from head to toe. Now we have to clean all this, Sarah sighed. Later, Daniel said. Right now, I just want to be here with you both. Even covered in flour, especially covered in flour. Emily snuggled between the 2 of them. I love you all very much, and we love you very much, my love, Sarah told her, kissing her forehead. Daniel looked at both of them, his wife and his daughter, and felt that quiet happiness he had learned to value. It wasn't a perfect life. They had difficult days. They argued sometimes. Emily had tantrums. He still burned the food, and Sarah still worried too much about everything. But it was their life. They had built it together, step by step, decision by decision, forgiveness by forgiveness. What are you thinking about? Sarah asked him. That we're the weirdest family I know. Weird how? A Jamaican, a stubborn Brit, and an adopted child who brought us together without knowing it. And does that bother you? Daniel smiled and hugged them tighter. On the contrary, I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. Outside, it began to rain softly. The 3 of them stayed there, on the kitchen floor, covered in flour, listening to the rain. It wasn't a perfect family, but it was perfect for them. And that, definitively, was enough. Were you as touched as we were by the story of Sarah, Daniel, and little Emily? This beautiful journey reminds us that families aren't always formed in traditional ways, but are built with love, patience, and second chances. From Jamaica to London, passing through Birmingham and Yorkshire, this story teaches us that true love knows no borders or social differences. If this story touched your heart as it did ours, don't forget to like this video and share it with that special person who believes in second chances. We want to hear from you. Where in the world are you watching from? Leave us your comment and tell us what was your favorite part of this emotional story. Was it when Sarah first calmed Lily? The moment of the kiss by candlelight? Or perhaps the marriage proposal? Your opinion is very important to us. If you liked this content and want to see more stories like this, subscribe to our channel and activate the bell to not miss any of our upcoming tales full of love, drama, and happy endings.